Ladies, let me tell you something. If a man treats you like an option, it means he never saw your true worth. But guess what? The tables always turn. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to beg for his attention. The best way to make him feel that pain, move on, level up, and live your best life. The biggest mistake people make in relationships is forgetting their own worth. When a man treats you like an option, it's not because you're not valuable, it's because he doesn't see it. And more importantly, because you haven't fully realized it yourself. A real man, a man who knows what he has, will never put you in a position where you have to question your place in his life. You should never have to wonder where you stand. The moment a man makes you feel like you are just one of many, rather than the priority, that's the moment you need to step back and ask yourself why you're allowing it. People only treat you how you let them. If you accept being an afterthought, that's exactly how you'll be treated. A man who truly values you will not put you in a position where you feel like an option. He will prioritize you, make time for you, and respect your presence in his life. But when a man knows that you'll always be there, no matter how he treats you, he has no reason to change. Why would he? If he knows you're always going to pick up the phone, always going to be there waiting, always going to excuse his bad behavior, then there's no motivation for him to do better. But here's the truth. There comes a time when you have to stop waiting for a man to realize what he had. You have to stop hoping that one day he'll wake up and suddenly treat you the way you deserve. You don't have to force a man to see your value. The right man, the man meant for you, will know it from the start. And if he doesn't, then your job is not to convince him. Your job is to walk away and let him feel your absence. And that's where the pain comes in. See, when you remove yourself from a situation where you were once an option, that's when a man realizes what he lost. It's human nature. People don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. That man who took you for granted, the moment you stop answering his calls, stop responding to his messages, stop giving him access to your life, he will feel it. He will notice the silence. He will feel the void where you once were. That's the real power. Your absence, not your anger. Too many people think that the best way to make a man regret losing you is to argue with him, to tell him off, to post about it on social media. But the truth is, the most powerful response is no response at all. There's nothing more painful to someone who once had control over you than realizing they no longer have access to you. The moment you stop answering those late night, hey, what's up? Messages, the moment you stop making yourself available when it's convenient for him, that's when he starts to feel the pain. And trust me, he will try to come back. That's what men do. The moment they see you moving on, the moment they see you no longer waiting around for them, they suddenly remember how much they have missed you. They suddenly start to say all the things they should have said before. They want to apologize, they want to explain. But by then, it's too late. By then, you should be so focused on yourself that his words don't even matter anymore. Because the best way to make a man feel the pain he put you through is not to hurt him back. It's to thrive. It's to become so strong, so happy, so fulfilled that his absence in your life feels like a blessing rather than a loss. When he sees you glowing, when he sees you living your best life, when he realizes that you never needed him to begin with, that's when he feels the pain. Not because you're trying to hurt him, but because he realizes that he lost something he will never get back. A man who treated you like an option expected you to always be there. He thought you would always wait. He thought you would always be the girl who put up with his mixed signals, his lack of effort, his inability to commit. He thought he could take his time because you weren't going anywhere. But when you finally decide that you deserve more, when you finally walk away and refuse to be anything less than a priority, that's when the real regret kicks in. And the beauty of it is that by the time he realizes it, you won't even care anymore. That's the best part. Because once you truly know your worth, once you truly step into your power, a man who once treated you like an option will no longer even be a consideration. You'll look back and wonder why you ever settled for less. You'll wonder why you ever allowed someone to make you feel like you weren't enough when, in reality, you were always more than enough. The pain he feels when you finally walk away isn't just about losing you. It's about realizing that he wasted his chance. It's about knowing that another man will come along and treat you the way he should have. It's about understanding that he played himself, and by then it's too late. This is why you never have to seek revenge. You never have to try to make a man feel the way he made you feel. The universe has a way of balancing things out. People always come to regret taking good people for granted. It may not happen right away, but eventually it always does. And when it does, you won't even need to say, "I told you so." Because your success, your happiness, and your peace will say it for you. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you can use when dealing with someone who has treated you like an option. Most people think they need to argue, explain, or prove a point. But the truth is, the less you say, the louder your message becomes. A man who has taken you for granted is expecting you to react emotionally, to beg for answers, to demand an explanation. He expects you to chase after him because that's what he's used to. But when you do the opposite, when you go completely silent, when you remove your presence from his life without a word, that's when he starts to feel the real impact of his actions. At first, he may not notice. A man who treats you like an option is often confident that you'll always be around, that you'll always answer his calls, that you'll always be available when it's convenient for him. He assumes that no matter what he does, he can always come back and you'll still be there. That's why walking away in complete silence is so effective. Because the moment he realizes that you're no longer reacting, that you're no longer waiting, that you're no longer responding, it hits him. And when it does, it hits hard. Silence forces a man to confront the reality of his choices. When he no longer has access to you, he has to sit with the fact that he lost something valuable. He has to deal with the fact that you're no longer waiting for him, no longer prioritizing him, no longer giving him attention. And the more time that passes, the more he begins to wonder what's changed. What you're saying. At first, he might assume that you're just upset, that you'll come around eventually. He might give it a few days, expecting you to reach out. But when you don't, when he starts to see that your silence is intentional, that's when the uncertainty begins to creep in. He starts to question whether he actually lost you. He starts to wonder if you've moved on, if you found someone else, if you've realized that you deserve better. And that's when the regret starts to settle in. People don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. It's a saying we've all heard before, but it's true, especially when it comes to relationships. When a man knows he can have you whenever he wants, he doesn't feel the urgency to value you. But when he suddenly can't reach you, when he suddenly doesn't know where he stands with you, that's when he starts to realize what he had. That's why your silence is so powerful. It shifts the dynamic. It forces him to acknowledge that he can no longer take you for granted. And in many cases, it's the only thing that truly makes a man regret his actions. Because now, instead of you chasing him, he's left wondering if he even has a place in your life anymore. And here's the best part. By the time he realizes what he's lost, you will have already moved on. That's the real power in all of this. Because while he's sitting there wondering if he still has a chance, you'll be too busy focusing on yourself growing, healing, and becoming the best version of you. And when he finally does reach out, when he finally does try to come back, you won't even need to respond, because by then you'll have already outgrown him. That's the beauty of letting your silence do the work. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to try to make him feel the way he made you feel. All you have to do is remove yourself from the equation, and he will feel it on his own. Because when a man who once took you for granted sees you thriving without him, when he realizes that you never needed him to begin with, that's when he truly feels the pain of losing you. The best way to make a man feel the pain of treating you like an option is to show him, without saying a word, that you were never an option to begin with. You were always the prize. You were always the one worth choosing. But he was too blind, too distracted, or too careless to see it. And now it's his turn to sit with that regret. The power of silence is something most people underestimate. When someone mistreats us, our first instinct is often to react, to demand an explanation, to try to make them understand how much they hurt us. We want closure, we want accountability, we want to hear them say, "I was wrong." But the truth is, most of the time, trying to force someone to see your worth only drains you. A man who treated you like an option wasn't valuing you in the first place. So what makes you think a conversation will suddenly make him wake up? This is why walking away in silence is the most effective response. It shifts the power. It forces him to sit in the space where you used to be. When you stop answering his calls, when you stop making yourself available, when you stop reacting, he's left with only his thoughts. And trust me, those thoughts will start to eat away at him. At first, he might not care. No, well, he might assume you're just upset that you'll come back when you've calmed down. But as time goes on, as the days turn into weeks and he realizes you're really gone, that's when the regret kicks in. He'll start to wonder where you are, what you're doing, and most importantly, who you're doing it with. He'll check his phone, expecting a message from you. And when it doesn't come, he'll feel that sting. He'll scroll through social media, looking for signs that you still care. And when he sees you living your life without him, it'll hit him hard. Men often don't realize what they had until it's gone. It's a pattern that repeats itself over and over again. When a woman is available, when she's always there, when she forgives easily, a man assumes he can do whatever he wants and she'll still be around. But the moment she decides she's done, the moment she stops chasing, the moment she focuses on herself instead of him, that's when everything changes. He will try to test you. He might send a casual hi just to see if you'll respond. He might come up with an excuse to reach out, pretending he needs to ask you something important. He might even try to guilt trip you, saying things like, I thought we were friends, or I just wanted to see how you were doing. But none of that is about you. It's about his ego. He wants to know he still has access to you. He wants to know you still care. Because if you do, it means he hasn't really lost you. But when you don't respond, when you continue living your life without giving him the attention he once took for granted, that's when the pain sets in. He'll realize he no longer has control over your emotions. He'll realize you're not waiting around for him anymore. And that realization will be his karma. The truth is, you don't have to do anything to make a man feel the pain of losing you. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to play games. You don't have to try to make him jealous. All you have to do is remove yourself. That alone is enough. Because once you're gone, once he can no longer reach you, he'll finally understand what he lost. And by then, it will be too late. By the time he realizes what he had, you will have already moved on. You will have already healed. You will have already found peace in knowing that you never needed him. You only wanted him, and there's a big difference between the two. A man who treated you like an option never deserved to be a priority in your life. And once he finally understands that, once he finally feels that regret, the most powerful thing you can do is keep moving forward. Because the best revenge isn't hurting him. It's showing him that he never had the power to break you in the first place. At the end of the day, the most powerful thing you can do when a man treats you like an option is to walk away with dignity and never look back. You don't need revenge. You don't need to hurt him the way he hurt you. And you don't need to waste your energy trying to make him realize what he lost. Life has a way of teaching people the lessons they need to learn. And trust me, he will feel the weight of his choices when he no longer has access to you. The real victory is in your healing, your growth, and your ability to move forward without bitterness. When you stop waiting for closure, stop seeking validation from someone who never truly appreciated you, and start investing all that energy into yourself, that's when everything changes. You begin to see that the pain he caused you wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of his inability to recognize it. And once you understand that, you free yourself from the emotional hold he had over you. By the time he realizes what he lost, by the time he starts to feel that regret, you will already be thriving. You will have rebuilt your confidence, rediscovered your joy, and surrounded yourself with people who genuinely value you. And that's when he will feel the deepest pain. Not because you did anything to hurt him, but because he will see that you never really needed him at all. When you know your worth, you stop begging people to see it. When you respect yourself, you stop allowing people to disrespect you. And when you truly love yourself, you don't settle for someone who only treats you like an option. You choose yourself every single time. And that choice will always lead you to the life and love you truly deserve. So let him feel the loss. Let him sit with his regret. Let him realize too late that he played himself. But by then, you'll be too far ahead to even care.